Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with us while we made some drinks and
Paid some bills?
paid some bills and took some leaks and all of that kind of good stuff. Finishing up with some of our plans for Valentine's Day. I know, Richard, you've got a big night of,
Probably rubbing it out, honestly.
roofies dropping. I would. For those people who will be hooking up this Valentine's Day, I guess it's different for Al and I, and I'm not gonna speak for you, sir, but I'll put my business out there. My chick's been on the pill for a long time, so that takes care of product purchasing. I don't need to buy condoms, like,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I need to buy a new pack of fucking Costco.
Yeah, you gotta renew your membership too, that's rough.
Yeah.
Those are expensive condoms this time. They work out over,
Yeah, I was gonna work out for sure over time.
so
It's a big pack.
it is, for a big man. So there's not much awkwardness at,
Medium size man.
once you're with somebody for an extended period of time, like, we went shopping the other day and bought ourselves, a new pack of baby wipes to wipe my dick off after, and,
You want to use a towel?
no, we use disposable baby wipes, it's easier.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you're doing a lot of laundry. At least with me, I don't know,
I was like, fuck.
maybe,
Alright.
maybe I'm putting too much out there, but, yeah, no, I'm curious though, for those individuals who will be hooking up with someone the first time. It's sometimes pretty awkward after you've hooked up. Maybe you fall asleep in that and you're lucky, but have you had awkward encounters?
Like after you're done?
Yeah, oh
Yeah, for sure. You're done, and you kind of like, well, at least this is what I do. I'll lay on my back, so I'm like tired. 'Cause,
Yeah.
that 90 seconds of fucking poking really
yeah.
gets
Oh, I
something.
mean, yeah, yeah.
And you kind of just lay there and like, you're like, all right, and like you kind of like, all right, and then like you have your condom monitor, so you gotta take that off. And
How long? I mean, how long do you lay there with your Jimmy hat on? Like,
So it depends on the girl, I guess. Oh well, regardless, I guess I will take it off pretty quick. I mean,
yeah,
because it's just gonna squeeze my dick to the point where it's like, all right, well,
you served your purpose.
yeah, I gotta take you off.
Yeah.
Take you off. Do what you gotta do with that. Side note though, when I used, not when I used to, but there's this one company that they, wherever your shit goes and everything you flush on the toilet, it goes there. It's one of the customers that I
The
have.
water, like,
Purification.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I went,
sanitation.
yes, I went there once and they're like, oh yeah, we get nothing but fem pads and condoms and whatever, and like literally all you saw on the fucking walls, it was like they have these big claws that like clean out the water, like the first,
Mhm.
and there's like condoms all over.
Oh my
So anyway, if you decide to throw your condoms, that's where they go.
That's
Yep.
really good.
So anyway, you take it off right there, and then I'll put my shorts on and I'll lay in the bed. I mean, now if I like the girl or whatever, or if I've got somebody that I've kind of been hooking up with a lot, then I'll lay next to her naked or whatever. But if it's somebody that I don't really like, no, I'll put some shorts on because I already told you I feel awkward without my shorts on.
I try not to put clothes back on after sex. You never know when you're gonna go again, so.
Well, but you don't, I mean, it doesn't work that way with me, like,
No, I get it.
because if I'm not wearing pants and then I just slip in.
Well, round two. Surprise.
Yeah, but you can't do that. I can't be doing that shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you can always start round two and then like take a quick time out, then put your pads on. And
No, you don't
Go back
do
in
that.
the
You
patient.
can't do that. That's
Go
dangerous.
back.
You get CTE.
CTE. You get a concussion.
Yeah.
You come out with chlamydia. Because I've been with my chick for some time, and obviously she's on the pill, I don't wear a condom, it'd be pointless. Though it would add a little bit of girth and length to me, but, it's just
A tiny bit.
a tiny bit, yeah. Probably overstated, at least double.
Penciled in.
So, condoms aren't kind of an issue for us, though after the chlamydia talk, we might want to go get tested once in a while, but, when I'm done, it's usually like roll over and then like wipe the sweat off my forehead because I'm just like tired. And then I don't mind just awkwardly laying there and just being.
But get okay, you're with your chick, you know,
Yeah.
let's talk, well, see, this is kind of a weird conversation, but I'm not trying to incriminate either of you guys, but like, if you're there with somebody you don't know, or you're not like, fucking with all the time,
Yeah.
I mean,
You address that differently.
yeah, it's a different situation.
When you are with somebody and you're not wearing a condom, you're just gonna like finish off. Do
Okay.
you politely ask where?
Okay, well, I don't want to say it politely,
Oh.
I'm like, I'm gonna fucking come, where do I go?
Hurry up, you got like 4 seconds.
Yeah, you better fucking figure this out right now, if not it's gonna go wherever it goes.
I cannot control where
Yeah,
it's dropped, but I can control that it's going to.
yeah. The best one is like, wherever you're at, they're like, just tell me, and like, you're like, I'm about to come, and they jump off, and they just like, put their mouth on your dick, oh my god.
It takes care of it. Yeah,
That's the greatest.
it solves so many problems.
Don't tell me that's not fucking amazing.
It solves so many problems.
Am I wrong?
You guys are too much.
From an organizational standpoint, it solves a lot of
The
problems.
fact that she could jump off that quick.
Yeah. And is what so here's my next
Jesus Christ.
so here's my next question. Let's say she doesn't, and she's like, I don't fucking know, Richard. Just go on my stomach or go on my tits.
Okay,
That's a long walk. Like,
long.
you know, you get out and then you gotta like either knee or penguin it up there.
At that point, I'm just gonna pull out.
Just shoot wherever you
the
can.
fuck it is. I don't even know if it matters to them. I mean, I would love to ask women, like, does it matter? Like, does it feel better when the guy comes on top on you? Like,
Ladies, location of a man's
you know what I'm
butt.
saying, right? Like, if
Yeah.
you just come on somebody's like ass versus like their thigh
I don't
versus
think.
like,
I think for women, like, if you can make it to the tits, it's a little sexier because like they can, you know, just show their
sexier
tits
for who?
for the girl.
I mean, it's sexier for us for sure.
Depends on the guy, I guess. I mean, like, I'm not a fan of blowing my load on my chick's face. Because then I have to hear, like, you got it in my eye. Like, my eye itches, it stings. Like, I need to wash my face. I have to, you know.
So you're just not a fan because you don't want to hear her.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not a fan that you don't like it.
Well, okay, so then, like, she wears glasses. So then it's like, do you do the fetish glasses thing? But then, like.
She wears glasses while you have sex?
Yeah. She's fucking blind, dude. Like, I'm not saying I'm much to look at. Apparently she likes to look at me, so she'll wear her glasses. Because she's fucking super blind.
Alright. I love how I was just being quiet during this whole he's not even
I'm
gonna say
just
nothing.
taking everything in right here.
Don't take it all in, bro.
This is
You might like it.
interesting. This is very interesting.
Betty Girl says, doesn't matter, it just gets messy when you do it on the face. See?
That's a lady right there.
Yeah, so it's just easier for me, like, if I'm gonna pull out for whatever reason, I'm gonna try and make it to your tits. But it's 50-50 if I'm
So-
gonna make it,
so-
'cause I'm gonna wait till the last fucking second.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying now. So like, if you're talking about a girl that like you're hooking with up consistently, like it's a girl that you guys like, or whatever, it's
She's
your
on the
girlfriend,
pill, you don't have to
Yeah.
check. Yeah.
you're right. I'm gonna wait till the last
Last
second, and even at that point,
Mhm.
like I don't know. Where the fuck
There's a
it's-
drip or two that's in there.
I don't know where the fuck it's going, but yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a very, 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 very messy fucking situation.
Yeah. So I'll try and make it up to the titties, but
I think the best part though is after you're done, like, cause like you know in the moment, like you're just going at it, and then you're done, you feel like they're like if they're on the back, they're like a turtle, they're just like, oh, give me a towel,
Okay,
give me a towel.
that's gonna lead me to my next question is, do you keep a nut rag by your bed for that reason?
No.
So then you have to get up and go get a towel?
Yeah,
Okay.
my towels are not that far from my room.
No, I know where they are.
Hey,
Well, I look, right?
that sounded really weird.
So then do you put your shorts on or you go get them naked?
Not doing it.
Okay.
That's fine. I just think, but I'll get up and get it. I'll wipe myself off first and then give her the towel.
Here's a dirty towel.
It's not dirty. It's the same shit that's on her.
Well,
It's the same
if
shit.
you pulled out and blew on her, let's say her tits, it's not the same shit. Because your shit is on her and her shit's on you.
Yeah, so it's her shit.
Yeah, I mean, she shouldn't complain about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where the
I,
whole.
I want Al's take on this. He's being super
I'm
quiet.
watching the Golden State and the Portland game over here, guys.
He's watching a ball go in a fucking hooper. right
3
now.
point, 1 point game now.
Part of the reason why the whole baby wipe thing works is because you can just
And the funny thing is, I do have baby wipes in next to my bed.
do you
Yeah, I really do.
use those.
In the moment, you know what it is?
Just bust into your baby, the baby wipe.
No, so the way my room is set up.
The way my bank account is set up,
Yeah.
it's like I keep most of my money in the savings.
and you know they don't really talk all the time.
Yeah.
So my bed's in the middle, but then I have a nightstand that's, if you walk in my room, it's on the left hand side, okay? But the nightstand that I use all the time is on the right hand side, that's where the commons are.
Yeah.
So the left hand side doesn't have anything in it but one thing of baby wipes. But the only reason there's baby wipes there is because I think I had them in my old apartment, and they kind of just transferred over, and I
Yeah.
just
They're
Habit.
probably dried out.
no, they're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
But are those happy tissues or sad tissues?
Yeah.
I just use like
They just were in my room. That's what I'm saying. They're just there. I don't know. Like I really don't know. I think when I moved out, like I just was putting things in dressers,
yeah.
and I had baby wipes, and I had to throw them in.
Like they work good for like other things beyond sex, obviously, like
Babies.
babies.
Baby's bottoms.
But you don't have a baby, so it's not that.
No.
They work pretty good for like dusting and
Don't
shit.
fucking judge me, Betty girl.
But I find they work really good for like post-sex cleanup and just like wiping your dick off, because I can just hand her one and I can take one and like clean up, and then after a few minutes it's like round two.
So in
Make
general,
sure
Al,
Yes, sir.
since you haven't really spoke on this subject, in general, do you have baby wipes?
Allegedly. You can say allegedly.
Baby wipes.
I plead the fifth. The fifth.
Do I have them? You're asking?
Yes.
I don't have them on deck, but
Do you prefer them over a towel?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Is it because it's cooler?
No, that's one bad thing about them. Like cold winter sex days, you pull it out and it's cold. So then you gotta put a semi-wet, cold baby
It's
wipe
like a
on
mini
your
bath.
dick.
You're thinking a mini bath with the baby wipe.
It's called a whore bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works though. I'm just saying. It's been a long time since I had like that first hookup, and then I ended up.
Well, I would hope at least 5 years.
I ended up asking her to marry me, so you know. Apparently, it wasn't that awkward, right, babe?
Hey, Betty Girl's right. She's like, you gotta stay ready. It's
Yeah.
true because I don't gotta. I mean, you can't. I'm already ready. Like, I don't have to worry about that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're good to go.
That's why the pill helps. Like,
Yeah, the next one you just smoke weed.
you can.
Oh,
The people in the next studio.
Yeah.
smells like weed.
Two pocket biggie.
I don't want to say it over the.
We can say we've been talking about pussy and fucking. You can talk about weed on the podcast.
Somebody smoking marijuana.
In the next studio. Yeah, it's just when, and then this is mostly kind of like a Q&A for Richard, is when you're done, because that usually
There's no guarantee that she's gonna be done.
Yeah. Like, at what point is it the right time to leave? Like, do you kind of just feel
Ooh.
obligated to stay?
Alright, okay, well,
Give me a couple of scenarios.
I would say the last, I don't even know, however many people has been at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd all been at my house for the most part. So it's not me leaving,
Yeah.
it's them leaving.
It's them getting asked to leave.
Some of them,
Do you want them to leave right away?
no, it doesn't, for me, like, if you're gonna come over, you can fucking spend the night, it's fine, like,
Yeah.
and then the morning, like, depending on the day, obviously, like, if it's a work day, and you gotta go to work, so they're, gotta get up and go anyway.
Yeah, I got
If it's
that.
on the weekend, so some of you ladies are gonna learn some of my tricks right now, so I'll tell them that I have to golf the next day.
Ah,
Okay. So they'll know that I'm golfing the next day, and then so I'll get up and get dressed, take a shower, and then I get out of the shower, and they're still there, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta leave in a little bit, and they're like, oh, okay, and then they'll be like, okay, and then I'll start getting dressed, and then They'll
Your
leave.
golf gear.
yeah, no, my golf gear's already my
I can't wait till you accidentally hook up with like an LPGA girl, and she's like,
oh, I'll go golfing.
Really?
Really, I'm more worried about hooking up with somebody that listens to our podcast.
Yeah.
That's a higher fucking option than LPGA tour girl.
you're totally gonna have to come up with something else now.
Well, see, that was a golden, right? Don't tell me that's not
That was
golden.
golden.
So that was how I had to go golfing, and it didn't matter if it was Saturday or Sunday because
You golf both those. Yeah.
And then I get up, get dressed, and they leave. They whatever, boom, back to the room, go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then if they text me during the 5 hours that I was supposed to be golfing, I was golfing. What? I mean, I was busy. What
Yeah.
do I do?
No, yeah, you definitely can't take a text message when you're on the
Golf course.
course.
But no, I mean, the awkwardness is not really there, just because it's like, there's some girls that just know what's up, and they're just like, all right, I'm gonna leave now.
Yep. Like, you wake up, you're like, okay, I'm.
I didn't wake up. I'm saying once you're done,
Oh, they're like,
you lay there,
it's
whatever,
3 a.m., but
you start
I'm
talking,
on
and
my
they're
own.
like, hey, can you give me my underwear or whatever, my Spanx or whatever the fuck they're wearing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Their faja, give me your faja.
Ah,
Hey, bro, there's a lot of women out there. There's different types.
pass me my girdle.
Big ones, little ones,
Mm-hmm.
tiny ones,
So for
larger ones.
big. So for those individuals who don't find themselves in a stranger's arms,
Come
tomorrow, men and women,
Yes.
I mean, whatever. We got the fucking week.
yeah. So for those that will find themselves going to bed by themselves, probably gonna want to take care of some business before you head off to sleep. To Dreamtown.
Pound Town.
Well, depends on what you're counting.
Yeah, I like the fact that I said Spanx.
Spanx. So ladies,
You gotta tuck in that fucking front upper lip, you know what I mean?
fellas, as you lay down alone on Valentine's Day evening, yeah, no, today's Valentine's Day Eve. You go and no one's taking care of you.
You're talking about
Self-service.
sexually, right?
Masturbation.
Ooh.
The last resort of the single person on Valentine's Day.
That's resort.
And you guess you try to fuck a pineapple?
No.
Self-service. I call it
Self-service. Taking care of yourself. D, I'm gonna call you out because I know you said Spanx. When you flick your bean, because she hates that term.
Yeah, she does.
She hates it. Absolutely hates it.
I don't know why.
It's a pretty common term.
Deanna the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Flick the bean.
Bean flicker.
Flick the old bean.
Do you find yourself beating off in bed, garage, kitchen? Hopefully not the studio.
Probably depends on who you live with.
Like if you live with your mom, you're obviously not doing it. in the
Yeah.
studio. Well, that makes sense.
Probably your room in the restroom.
Yeah. I used to live with a guy.
She said because it's not cute. I don't know if she's talking about her own bean or the word bean.
And I think her bean isn't that cute.
You don't think so?
I think it's more like a green bean, just hanging down and flopping around.
You think it's really green though?
I was thinking more length and girth.
Are you alright here now?
How you
Are you not high enough for this?
You good, buddy?
I didn't smoke before.
That's where you fucked up.
This is crazy though.
So, I used to live with a friend, and
I know who it is.
yeah, of course. His brother used to go into the bathroom in the morning, and he would have a black binder with him, and on the
Oh,
outside-
this is pre cell phones.
yeah,
Yeah.
A binder.
and on the binder it said like music, and like he was always writing music.
Is this the little brother?
No, the bigger, older one.
They're both big.
That's what I said older. And then like for 45 minutes he would be writing music. in
Yeah, that's a
the
long
bathroom.
time.
Oh, when you gotta go,
There's only one restroom?
it sucked. Well, there was two, but you could walk all the way across the house, or
Just knock on the door and get them scared?
fuck, man, it was fucking awful. So the funniest thing was the friend who I was closest with.
How close? Did you guys live in the same room?
No,
You guys were writing music together.
when the older gentleman was
Songwriter.
writing when he was being inspired for his music.
That's so awesome that he had a binder.
I
I'm sorry, that's fucking insane.
was like, I gotta brush my teeth. I gotta
Writing
work.
music. I'm writing music. Give me a
I gotta
phone.
fucking go to work. Like, so I'm getting dressed. I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking go outside and pee. Like, I gotta pee. So I go outside, I walk into the backyard, and my buddy is brushing his teeth outside
Cause he's
by
like,
the hose because he couldn't get in the bathroom either because his older brother was writing music and he's brushing his teeth. And the funniest line he ever looked up at, because as much as we grew apart personality-wise, he was really funny from time to time. He looks up at me with his toothbrush and he's brushing his teeth and he's like, "It's like we're camping." After brushing his teeth.
it must be a really good song.
And I was like, "Oh God, when is your brother gonna get done?" And he's like, "You gotta find your penis first." I'm crying, laughing, peeing in the backyard like a fucking hobo. He's brushing his teeth, going, "It's like we're camping. You gotta brush your teeth and piss outside."
That's awesome.
Also, the older brother could beat off in the bathroom.
And they were good fun.
It was, yeah. And it's like, what was it? This is the end? It was like, who jacks off to pornos now? Like, or who jacks off to magazines now?
He's like, that's all we had.
It's all we had. It's
Sounds
like
like that.
artwork. When did you start beating your meat? Gentlemen?
Oh man,
Go ahead. You haven't said much.
I was a freshman while in high school.
Freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a late bloomer.
Yeah, I was gonna say the minute I got a hard on, nothing came out,
Yeah.
you know, but
I
I tried.
beat off before I had the ability to produce kids.
Same here.
Because I remember beating off and then you realize, like,
When it's
what
going out.
the fuck? Like, something came out.
The first time I came, I remember, you're right, it was awkward. It was like, oh,
Like guilt.
yeah.
Like, oh, what the fuck? No, yeah.
Were we do Canada for you?
Ladies,
They're hilarious.
while we're going over our embarrassing stories,
That's
I'm
awesome.
curious to know when you first started humping a pillow or flicking a bean or whatever it was.
Like I wonder, like obviously you know like guys jerk off more than girls.
Yeah.
Like probably 10 times more.
I probably jerk off more than most of our listening women put together.
But I guess like
It's research for
one,
the show.
where do they hide whatever toys that they have?
Oh, I know that one.
For everyone, every girl.
Well,
I
not
do.
for
I do remember.
everyone.
I do remember hooking up with some girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a fucking suitcase.
A suitcase.
A suitcase.
I have a toolbox.
It was a little fucking like, maybe not a suitcase, but like it looked like a small like
A DJ
like,
box.
No, like a casino like chip holder, like
Okay,
little
okay.
little
Oh,
small
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And she had like 4 or 5 toys in there or whatever.
Yeah.
But it made me think like, damn, like, does every girl have this? Does every girl fucking rock one of these?
I wouldn't go as far as to say a.
When I say every girl, obviously that's like not, that's
Yeah,
generalizing.
generalizing. I have a toolbox full of toys because I'm a guy and I have a whole bunch of toolboxes, and so it's just
Then you just happen to have one random one in your room.
like I had one that wasn't being utilized, so I utilized it for sex toys and oils and stuff like that.
Essential oils.
Deanna said she just bought her first toy at 29. She
Hey.
started late.
Nice job, D. Welcome to the world of masturbation. No, but that's your toy. When did you first start masturbating?
I'm sure girls, it was probably after they've had sex.
You think so?
I mean, I don't know. Like, how would you know how it feels? I mean,
I would assume that they've
I don't mean, maybe
humped something or rubbed something. Like, I remember just like rubbing my leg because it itched, and then like, hey, that's my dick. Hey,
Did you guys
that's kind of
ever,
good.
did you guys ever have
Hey,
that
let me try this.
classroom wood before?
Yeah,
Like
of course.
at school.
Yeah.
I got that shit all the time.
Yeah,
What
that
other
was all
classrooms do you have?
That's
Well,
cool.
Some people teach.
Fucking traffic.
Okay, first off,
Traffic
if
rules.
anybody teach they got fucking wood at school, that's a fucking really awkward conversation.
I mean, are you asking if I've gotten wood like in awkward places like school,
Yeah.
church, driving, work,
Well, driving's
meeting?
You just tuck it in though, man. You
just
took it
deal
up.
with
Took it up.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I let it grow down my leg.
I want to say that
Trying to get out.
I never had that because I can't remember a situation.
Mm.
I'm not saying I didn't, but like,
I started after high school, so
Yeah,
looking at 18,
damn, that's
19.
so weird after all.
I wouldn't say you're weird, but that's a girl. You're a guy.
I said you were.
That's true.
I can't remember having classroom wood, dude.
I do.
I really
I
don't.
do.
I
I
don't
remember all
remember
the time.
because I was watching the show or the movie The Wood. You guys ever see that?
No, I don't want to.
No, it's not a fucking sexual movie.
Oh, teasing my dick with your movies.
It's about Inglewood. It's about fucking.
Inglewood.
It's called The Wood.
I get it.
And Omar Epps' character in the movie, the younger one, he gets fucking wood, and he stands up. They ask him a question, and like he covers it with like his notebook or whatever, all embarrassed, right? And I was thinking to myself like, damn, I never ever having that.
I'm tuck up, and then you get up, and as long as you walk.
Oh, of
rather-
course, you talk it. Yeah, you tug it up. I remember that.
You can,
Nah, I
get,
just
you can get away. You can get out of the classroom.
I just rubbed it on whatever girl was the closest. Whether she wanted to or not. That me too.
That's called rape now.
Oh, is it? Now.
Now.
Pussy.
I mean, yeah, it's. I do remember that happening a couple of times, or happening in, throughout high school, or whatever. It's part of growing up, though.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to handle that kind of thing. Like, okay, so, Al, I don't know about you, but there are times where my chick will text me something, sexual or inappropriate that she wants to do to me when we get home. And then I'll text her back with what I want to do to her. And then the restraining order comes. But before the restraining order comes, like, it's sexy, it's arousing, and like I'll be working and I'll be like, nope, can't read this now because I'm about to get a hard on and I'm working. Like, can't deal with this. Can't deal with it.
Are you like the guy from I Love You Man where you jerk off to your own girl's fucking picture?
I can. I have. I've jacked off to
I forgot what he said in that. but I feel
pornos
like
that we've made, like between her and I. Oh yeah, I've done that.
with the GoPro?
No, just with my regular good old fashioned phone.
Kevin is a sex machine.
He really is.
Yeah,
He's-
no, yeah.
He likes butt plugs and shit up his own ass. I mean, whatever. Do you like it? I've never done it.
Never
I
done it.
I wouldn't say that it's like. I wouldn't say that I enjoy it per se. Like, I'm not going, oh, like, this is gonna feel great when I get home and you can fist my ass. But it's like, it's different, and I guess part of me feels guilty. Like, I go, hey, it's my birthday, so I kind of want to put my wiener up a pee hole. I feel guilty to turn around and be like, no, nothing goes up mine, but my slightly over average sized penis goes up yours, like
Slightly over.
slightly. Like it's I feel guilty, so yeah.
What? We had some questions.
But wait,
Oh.
wait. You asked, so the girl had this briefcase or a collection.
I didn't
of-
ask anything.
No, you did.
Okay.
You asked where girls would keep their toys,
Oh.
right? And I
I
think
guess I was more of like a. I knew the answer, but it was just like.
it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my answer is always like the same place they keep their balled up thongs and chonies and shit like that. Like usually the top drawer of whatever dresser.
Or like some shoebox. I have some of my
Yeah.
shoe boxes.
Like that drawer where all the women take their their
You know,
panties and
you,
just
you know,
ball
what's,
up.
you know what's interesting to me? So now that I've gotten older, most of the girls that I've hooked up with, like, they have kids, you know what I mean? So whether they have kids and like, let's say they have like one kid or whatever, they have one bedroom apartment,
Mhm.
or they have kids and they have their own separate rooms or whatever, but their kids are always in their room. It always interests me, like, where they hide that shit. Cause I know they got them, you know what I mean? I know they got those fucking toys and shit. But, you know, you kinda look at like, dude, how do your kids not get into that? That's the thought process that goes in my mind, cause
So funny story. This one's gonna come back to haunt me. I can guarantee you.
well, don't tell them.
No, it's the truth. So there's a I have a red paddle, I guess you could say,
A red paddle.
used specifically for sexual cue.
Gotcha.
It
Bottom.
was left out, and my son goes, "Hey, Dad, it's a wand," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need that back from you." And he's like, "Why?" I go, "Oh, because it's been on the floor, it's dirty, like, I gotta wash this." And I took it away. But, like, for that split second, I was thinking in my head, yeah, the wand of magic, like, all of the jokes that I could play off of it, but at the time I just said, like, no,
You couldn't
son,
do this to your
son,
son,
give it
7-year-old
back.
son?
Yeah, no, give it back. But I do, like, there's a lot of innuendos because he doesn't quite get them that I still drop. Like,
Yeah.
he's like,
I forgot what we were talking about. This was like 2 Christmases ago, and we said something, and you looked at me kind of weird, and you were like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about this, son," or whatever, and you like,
yeah,
"Fuck, it was something very, very just wrong."
he said something the other day because my chick made spaghetti and then she did the ground beef and she put it in spaghetti sauce and, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, pretty basic recipe, but he said something about like the meat. And I just went, yeah, well, son, you gotta find yourself a girl who's good with your meat. And like, Yvette looked at me like, don't fucking do those. And I thought, it's hilarious. It slid right past him, but
Slid right past him, right into her.
right into her. So yeah, I think to come full circle on this, I think if you had the opportunity to check most women's panty drawers, you're gonna find some kind of vibrator. It's just, they're there. And if you come to my house, there is a large toolbox full of various items that have been in my fiance and I, and yeah, they're fun.
All right. So what questions do we have?
We have some good questions this week, and they're pretty interesting. So we'll start with,
Kevin's Corner.
are we calling it Kevin's
I
Corner?
think that's what we're gonna call it, dude.
Okay, as long as we
I
just
wanted to
spell
call it like Kevin's Kinky Corner, but he said KKK is not.
No, we're not doing that's,
That's
yeah,
not cool,
we're
man.
not doing that. We're gonna say.
We're gonna stop.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that was better.
it wasn't the most well thought thing. So we did have a listener who reached out to us and
A very important listener,
asked.
because all listeners are important.
Women are very interested in what a guy does, if they have their own place, what they can offer to the relationship. And this person was curious if men thought the same way about women. So we'll start with our esteemed guest, Mr. Albert Minna. As a guy,
I think
have
it
you-
depends when you meet your partner,
okay,
at what age, because if you meet them maybe earlier in life, you don't have those types of questions, right? You're a different person, you're younger. You meet them later in life, then yeah, obviously those questions come into play, come into your mind. So at this point, I would say yes, but before, no, I guess. So when I was younger, maybe not.
it's a matter of maturity for you.
So I disagree. Not in the aspect of like you obviously you're separating you being older or younger. My thing, okay, when I say disagree, it's more in the premise of when I meet someone, like I just need to understand that their ambition is there. Like you don't have to have
The great
anything.
job.
Yeah, you don't have to have anything, but you have to be willing to work for whatever it is that you want.
You would, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth.
Or a dick.
You know, I mean that.
I mean,
You would rather meet a girl, or you would put a girl higher who was still in school working to be a doctor over a girl who might have her own place but has been at McDonald's for 5 years.
I mean, yeah,
but
I-
do you think about those things like at a certain age?
yeah,
you know?
I
You
thought about that when I was
that when
18.
you're
Yeah,
younger?
when I was 18. Because honestly, like, I was so ambitious, and I still am. I'm so ambitious as an individual. I couldn't date someone that was just like. So one of the words that I fucking despise is content.
Oh, I thought you were my cunt.
No, I'm like content.
Okay.
Content. Content is a word that I fucking hate. Anybody, and I don't think any of my friends are that. Like, you know what I mean? Anybody that I consider like really close to me. Because content to me is like a fucking dirty word. Like, if you're content in life, I want to be around you. Like, I just, that to me, that doesn't resonate with me.
Right.
So when I meet a girl, they could be working anywhere, at a restaurant, at a bar, fucking, it doesn't matter where they're at. When I meet them and they start telling me things like, you know, like, I plan on doing this in my life. I plan on opening up this kind of store or this restaurant or you know, I'm working and doing this and I want to open up a bar. Like, and regardless whether it happens or not, they just have bigger ambitions and what they're doing, and they're using whatever platform they're in to get to that next level. You know
Now
what I
here's
mean?
a question though. Now what if that ambition 2 years down the line changes? Would that throw you for a spin? In how you see them?
Then our relationship changes.
Yeah.
But and that's what
Then
they
you're
do.
not with the person.
But would you agree that people are always changing and growing?
Yes, I agree.
So then,
But one
But
thing
it-
about like Richard, your point of view, and correct me if I'm wrong, being happy with what you have is different than being content
Yes.
with what you have. Like, you may have a 2-bedroom house and you're happy with it. Like, I'm happy and I enjoy let's say the fruits of my labor, what I'm able to have because I work for it. But I'm not done at a 2-bedroom. I'm looking for a 5-bedroom, and eventually I want this. I think they're people lump them together, but they're very different attitudes.
So like what you're saying is, if you're with someone for a good period of time and their mindset changes, right?
right.
Well, let's put in like writing like where are we at in this relationship, or not I'm saying like me and you or
Yeah,
me and that person, but like, if we're married and that mindset changes, then that's where conflict comes into play. You know what I mean? But then also too, like, if this person has a certain lifestyle they like to live, and the money we're making is this lifestyle,
Right.
don't come to me and complain that we're not doing this. Like, what the fuck
We're
are you
not
doing?
meeting the grade because
Yeah, I mean, so I guess that's what I mean by like, I'm okay with,
you want someone that's aware of the fact that that it's a partnership.
yeah,
And
we're,
that
we're
it's-
in this together, so,
Right.
and I'm okay with whatever comes that. I'm gonna continue to work hard for what I want. Now, if you wanna be a house mom or housewife, I mean, and that's what you wanna do, and that's what your goal is, and you wanna be the best housewife, house mom or wife of all time, then that's fine with me too, but like, don't come at me and be like, I wish we had a bigger house, or I wish we had this, or I wish, like, it goes,
Yeah. Be rational with the realization of the situation.
Yeah.
So the reality of the situation.
So let's use that example for a housewife who,
I don't like you're calling it house mom,
yeah, I don't know,
I'm an
it
idiot.
was really weird.
cause you can't make a hoe a housewife.
They hose on that right.
Yeah.
There's hose in the kitchen and hose on the crack pipe, I believe is the lyrics.
Sound
So,
very Dr. Seuss's.
I know. Kevin's on a roll today.
so, I think there's one thing about, let's use Richard. Richard going to work.
Use me.
If I could
My
say-
legs behind my name, behind my fucking head.
Let's say Richard goes to work and he loves his job. He's bringing home a very good paycheck that puts a roof over his house,
Sounds like my life right now.
food on the table for his kids, and he has a wife who says, I want to stay home and make sure that the kids are going to school, well dressed, they have lunches, that there's a hot meal, and that is the what brings this woman joy, okay? Richard's okay with that, up until the point where it's like, well, why don't we have more? Because that's kind of putting more of the burden upon Richard, like,
Of course.
I don't wanna go to work, so you need to work double so that we could have a little bit more. Whereas if this woman, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, is like, no, I'm gonna make sure that this is clean and is, because it is a partnership. If there's someone who is taking care of all of the back end stuff,
But it can also go the other way though. Let's say you meet somebody and then you guys are fucking both workaholics,
mhm,
and then it starts affecting
Mhm.
your love life.
Right.
That's why I said no matter what happens, it comes back to like where you are in the relationship, and then it's like, okay, depending on where you are, you decide, okay, we need to meet somewhere in the middle,
yeah,
because my ambition, your ambition is too high, and it's affecting our relationship.
you either need to go
Either
at it alone, or,
either we do this independently, or we fucking go in it together, and we have to take a step back.
Do you think there's anything that you bring to a relationship that
I bring everything in the
at
fucking
some,
relationship.
at some point might change, even if it's not the fact that like what you expect? Because you said like when you were 18, you felt the same way about how you feel now.
I mean, I can't predict the future, but I'm sure there are things that may come up where I'm like, I don't feel that way, the same way I did when I was 35,
Right.
now that I'm 40. you know, and then you also gotta put into account, where especially where I'm at now, most of the girls that I'm gonna date are gonna have kids anyway.
Right.
So it's like, you gotta deal with those little fuckers too, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding, I didn't mean to say that.
It's a
We'll just
matter
build
of,
a cage. We'll just build a cage, we'll tie them up.
No, I mean,
it's the reality of what you're saying.
the circumstances that you're in.
Odds are,
But regardless, I just don't wanna be content, like, I just don't wanna sit here and be like, okay, I'm happy with living the life that I'm living, and we're not gonna do anything more. Like, no,
Yeah.
we're always gonna be pushing forward, whether let's say both of our jobs, or let's say I'm only working, or she's only working, and we tap out as far as salary goes, that's the most we could ever make. That's fine, but what are we gonna do with the money that we are making?
Mhm.
Are we investing? Are we fucking, you know,
What about when
cooking
it comes
things?
to relationship though?
What do you mean?
Content a bad word still to you?
Yeah,
I would
for
say
sure.
so, one
Really?
hundred percent. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
So
I-
don't you think you have to
Okay.
be content with the person that you
No.
want to be with?
definitely not.
No,
I would say 100% no.
I think you need to be working on yourself, and they need to be
Yeah.
working on themselves too.
100%, I
But
agree
there has to
with
be
Richard.
some level though of that.
No, no,
right
okay,
for you to
But
be with
again,
that person.
that goes back to what I said earlier of, there's between being content and being happy with what you have.
okay,
You can be happy in your relationship.
right,
But you should always be trying to get better at whatever it might be. And maybe this is just my mentality, but okay, bringing it full circle and throwing my shit completely out on the table. Like, I'll have talks with my chick and ask her, like, so, was that 48 seconds better than the 45 you got last night? Like, huh? Am I getting better? Did you
Or
like
sometimes the 45 is better than the 48 though.
sometimes because I did this move
Yeah.
versus this move or whatever it might be. But the bottom line is like I'm
That
always
was pretty good, just want you to know.
You like
Yeah,
that?
I like that. I can't turn it down.
I'm-
You hear that?
the little pounding at the bottom, yeah, the rapping on my bedroom door. I'm always trying to like improve. I don't want things to get and for you the word is content. For me, it's stagnant. I don't want a relationship,
I feel like those
a
are
job. No, 100%.
Those are equal words.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but for me, it's like, I don't want our relationship to become stagnant. So, just random shit. I wrote a long, multi-page Word document about the type, very similar to like a 50 Shades of Grey type story, but I didn't write the ending. And so I sent it to my chick and I said, finish this. Like, she finished the story.
So she finished you off.
Every time. And of course I finished before she did, but
Yeah.
that's not the point. She was like, where did you come up with this like idea? Like not in a bad way, but like where and I said, look, it doesn't matter where I came up with it. The bottom line is it was different. And I never want to be content. I never want her to be content. I always want our relationship, my job, whatever it might be, I don't want that shit to become stagnant. It should be always trying to get better. You can always improve on something. And all joking aside, I don't know if it's the Japanese culture that I was raised in, but it's like, no, you should always be perfect. You should always be perfect. You could do that. And I grew up with you can do it better than that. Well, but it's perfect. No, you can do it better than that. Keep practicing. Like, keep practicing, keep doing it. Joking, do you understand how many sushi rolls I made as a kid that my grandpa was like, that one's not right? As a 6-year-old, he's like, nope, that one's
Well, that
right.
reminds me,
That one's
no,
right.
I know we joke around all the time about like, Mr. Miyagi being your dad and shit.
Hi babe, you're still listening.
But like in Karate Kid, like when he like gets mad at him for not like,
And your knees, by the way.
It's discipline.
yeah, and that's okay. Like I just feel like that's like a mindset. That's the reason why it's difficult for me to be with somebody that's not on that same level. You know what I mean? So you'll know right away when you meet somebody whether or not they're on the same fucking wavelength as you. And I'm okay with what. So like the question was, would you date somebody that's
What a guy does, is it important to a guy what a girl does?
yeah, and it's not important to me what you do right now.
Mhm.
What's important to me is what you aspire to be.
And I think that the third part of the question was the most important part that sums everything up is she said, do guys think of what a woman can bring to the relationship? And for me, that is
I think
definitely a
It has
yes.
to, it has to be, yeah.
That in and of itself encompasses what she does.
Now does what a guy and what a girl value or carry value in terms of what they bring to a relationship. Now, does that, you know what I mean? Like, does it weigh the same what a guy values in one as to
No,
what a girl
of
values?
course they don't understand because of what a girl looks. Well, I mean, it's
Two
not
guys are
just-
gonna value things differently.
Not yeah.
Or even if you're looking at the same thing, like for example, a profession.
Well, but two guys are gonna look at
Right.
it differently, because if Richard wants I don't wanna say working girl, cause that's the wrong
Come
girl.
on, working girl.
It
Shit.
happens.
Work this dick.
A working girl's one that gets paid to work.
Lady of the night.
I ain't paying her.
Yeah, well, and then you gotta talk with him. Anyway, we're getting off subject.
Do they have
For
any
Richard, they might have a union. No, I don't think so. It's hard to unionize. They never pay their union dues, I heard. But like Richard was saying, let's say he wants a girl with a career.
I don't need to go to her.
Well, but just for argument's sake, a girl with a career who's ladder climbing, and I may want a housewife. So what we look at, what a girl could bring to the relationship, we're gonna value that differently.
Right.
So, do paychecks, are they valued the same? No, because if I'm looking for a woman to be a housewife that stays at home, then I don't give a shit what the paycheck is, because you could make
Because it's-
$200,000 a year, but it doesn't provide value to me. Whereas Richard may look at somebody, he could have closed the door.
Right.
Richard might look at that woman with a $200,000 paycheck, the ambition to climb the ladder, and that would bring more value than somebody who was wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. So
That's true.
value is in the eye of the beholder. But I think the last part of the question, what can they offer to a relationship, is in and of itself inclusive of the first two, of what she does, if she owns her own place,
Yeah,
all
of
that
course,
stuff.
it falls under what does, I agree, 100%.
What can you bring? And really, when values line up, that's when you're gonna be okay. So, I don't think it, as a guy, it depends on the guy.
Well, what do you value?
Honesty,
Because everybody values something differently.
Mhm.
I
You know?
mean, I really, it's really more of a vibe for me, like, I gel well with my girlfriend, so everything we do is, like, I don't know how to explain it, it feels normal, it feels fine, like it,
Yeah, it's called love. I understand
yeah,
what you're
so
saying.
it's like, even when we argue, when we get into arguments, like, I don't question our relationship after an argument, and you know what I mean, like, oh my god, is this gonna jeopardize, and it could be a serious argument, you know, but I still don't feel that way. I feel like, okay, you know, we'll figure it out, we'll work it out, we'll talk, like, and I hope that that's what a relationship should be, you know, in terms of success, of being in a successful relationship, so that's the way I do it, at least. I really don't have an actual, like, some specific trait to point at to be like, hey,
So
this is-
I understand that. I mean, like, I guess with regards to the question, I mean, it all depends on where you are in
your life too, right?
your life. That's why, like I said, yes and no, like to what you said. When you were younger, you didn't feel a certain way. When you're older, you feel a different way. The only reason I don't agree with that is just because when I was younger, I still felt the same way. Like, I still need, it doesn't matter. Like, I need somebody to have some sort of ambition. I'm not saying they need to say they want to make fucking $100,000, $500,000 a year,
Right.
but just like, what is your ambition? Is your ambition to be a fucking mom and to be a loving mom and have fucking 5 kids and that's what you want to be? Cool, that's fine. If you want to be a CEO of a company, cool, that's fine. But like, if you just like, I don't know what I want to do with life. I don't know. Like, and I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as a job, but I knew that I didn't want to live a certain type of lifestyle.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And to me, that was enough. Like, to me, you know what I mean? Now, some people, if I met them and they were like, well, what exactly do you want to do? How do you know you're going to get there? And it was like, you know what? And there was relationships that I had where the relationship fell off because of that. But in my mind, it was like, it didn't matter. That's fine. You don't believe me? That's fine. I believe in myself. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with meeting somebody and thinking that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about and they're whatever, and then you find out 6 months later or 5 years later that they're
Okay.
fucking, yeah, they're doing great, and it's like, well, you take your L's. Like, I just think that, like, life is like, is a business, you know what I mean? Like, you take your L's and you take your wins and you fucking move on with it.
Yeah,
Gotta
so,
take the D.
I mean, depending on,
It happens. I think we may have to save the next question
that's fine.
for next week.
For the last 5 minutes, so that we did our fast food challenge.
We did?
Chick-fil-A beat the shit out of Domino's.
Really?
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A beat the shit out
I
of
don't know who's next. I gotta look real quick.
I've got it written down here. So Chick-fil-A beat the shit out of Domino's. So that means we are now moving on to what are we, Starbucks versus Wendy's?
Let me check real quick. Hold on. But I really think I said this before the podcast and before we started this.
Mm-hmm.
I said I think that Chick-fil-A is gonna face In-N-Out in the finals.
Probably.
So Wendy's and Starbucks are winning against each other.
Wendy's and Starbucks.
They're winning against each other.
They did. Who won?
Wendy's.
Okay. Then is it Del Taco Taco Bell?
Yep. Del Taco Bell.
So it's the Battle of the Beaners.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. This one's confusing.
Which one's the last one?
Taco Bell, Del Taco.
What's the first one? In-N-Out versus what?
Pizza Hut?
Oh, okay, wait, so this is the bottom bracket.
Yeah, this is the bottom bracket.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna talk about it.
I thought we threw this one out, but I don't think you ever posted it.
I thought I did, but maybe I didn't.
No, it happens.
So Taco Bell versus Taco Bell versus Jack in the Box, but not. And Taco Bell barely won that one.
Yeah, Taco Bell beat Jack in the Box.
By like one vote.
Ooh. Your vote does matter, folks.
I don't know if Coltrane's still on right now, but he did vote that Taco Bell used to be good, but that he's more of a fan of
Del Taco.
Del Taco now.
I know that we had put this out, but I don't think you ever put the poll up because I was concerned of whether this was Taco Bell with nacho fries
ooh,
or without.
You did ask that, but I think what happened was the way you had your bracket versus
Yeah.
the bracket you sent me,
Uh-huh.
it was in a different order.
Ah, okay. Well, can we do it this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on Monday.
Del Taco versus Taco Bell. We're going Taco Bell with nacho fries, correct?
Sure.
Thank you.
That's why you tried to fucking talk about breakfast.
Yes, I did.
those fries are bomb.
They are.
Taco Bell or Del Taco?
Del Taco is better, but Taco Bell makes a good argument with those nacho fries.
Yeah. Taco Bell and nacho fries, bro. All right, everybody. Hey, have a safe, chlamydia-free Valentine's Day.
Well, we actually, if you get chlamydia, it's fine, but
Yeah.
more of an HIV, anything that stays with you forever,
Herpes.
that free.
Yeah, and hopefully pregnancy-free. We don't want abortions.
Or, and that's why I'm Richard, my pull-out game is strong, Vasquez.
I am Kevin, Plan B. So, take care, everybody. Peace.
Good sleep, man.